Dons out here about basketball.
Dons, I like it. Well, I tell you, it's we really focus on the fundamentals. I think it's important. Everybody talks about fun. We try to come up with some creative games, using the basketball, but also making sure that they're having a whole bunch of fun. We want this to be a great experience, and it shows because, we have lots of kids that come back and a lot of returners, a lot of veterans, and that's good to see you develop a relationship with them and their family, and then in turn they start coming to games, and it's all part of the growing program process.
Your dad's a coach. You've been around the game forever. What is different about the way the game is taught nowadays that maybe kids are missing from kind of like old school basketball?
I think the biggest thing, and this, is fundamentals. Summer ball, there's so much basketball, and I think in order to keep the kids interested, you're almost forced to roll the balls out and just let them run up and down. Whereas, there wasn't as much basketball, as you said, in the olden days, to where you had to focus on fundamentals. You had to make sure that kids wanted to be good because they were eager to play the game. But I think there's so much basketball that goes on now, they lose that sense of urgency to want to get better because they're playing all the time.
Talking about Ipfw basketball, obviously, Delvez has finished his time here, Nick Daniels as well, but, you return a solid core of guys for next year. Talk about what you've seen in the summer from those guys.
Well, they're working their tails off. Botts, Plackmeyer leading the way, and as much as, you mentioned the solid core, as good a group as we have coming back, we have some holes to fill, and you mentioned Delvez and Daniels, and that's going to be crucial. We're losing a great shooter and a solid guy in Daniels and a heck of a rebounder, and a guy that could really get up and do some things for us. So we've got some holes to fill, and that's something that we're still doing as we speak.
Talk about some of the guys that you've already signed. Obviously, Smethers is an Indiana guy originally, and also you signed a kid from Elkhart and a Boyd as well, right? Originally an Anderson guy.
Well, we got 3 Indiana guys. That's big for us because I think that adding some local flavor will add some a lot more local interest. Signed a 7-footer from the St. Louis area. Plackmeyer's good friends with him. So we got 4 solid guys. We've got a couple walk-ons that probably, had they gone prep school, they would earn a Division I offer. So we're excited about that. We've got 1 or 2 more scholarships to give, which is probably surprising, but we had some change in the off season. We're going to continue to try to add depth, but we need size. We still need size.
Yeah, talk about how difficult is it for you at this point to get size, because that's kind of what everybody covets, I would think, at this point, right?
Well, it's tough in this area to find size, and when I say this area, I'm basically talking about the Midwest, so we've had to branch out. We've gone overseas a couple times. We've had Oleg from last year, Igor from the year before. We have to continue to comb the nation and try to find. I don't think that Delvez obviously wasn't 6'9", but what Delvez with his heart and his athleticism made up for it, and that's something that we might be looking at.
Talk a little bit about the off season for you, because saw your name in the Toledo Blade with a quote talking about the Toledo job. Obviously, IU, Michigan, assistant jobs have been mentioned. What's it been like for you, and what's it like to kind of have your name being mentioned in those jobs?
Well, obviously it's an honor. I mean, it's not something that came to fruition. Not much materialized in terms of those jobs. Obviously, I'd be lying if I said I didn't speak to all those parties, but I did. And, it just didn't materialize. Glenn, it just would be very hard to give up a head coaching position for an assistant position, wherever it may be. And I think that, combined with the type of kids we have coming back, the environment I get to work in, is an easy choice to be at IPFW.
How difficult is a choice for you to make whether to continue to grow this program, which, in a sense, Division I, you kind of helped start really from the beginning or close to the beginning, rather than to go to a major program like an IU or a Michigan and kind of learn from the Tom Creans and the John Beelines, or I know maybe Tom Izzo at a Michigan State?
Well, I think it's difficult to sustain a program like this because of the lack of resources. It's obviously still a growing Division I institution, very, very young from those respects. So it's difficult to sustain, and that's something that we work every day to try to do. That's what we're trying to do. Obviously, we'd want to win a lot more, a lot faster. That hasn't happened, so that's something that we continue to grind at. and come in and dig in every morning and get to work. Gosh, and compared to these, the bigger schools, they've got their own problems too. You listen to Coach Izzo throughout this whole process, and the media has mentioned, the issues that he has to deal with. It's all relative. I mean, at every level, you're going to have a need and a want for resources to allow you to compete with the upper echelon teams, and it's no different down here. Teams in our league, the top teams in our league, there's obviously the top teams in our league have the a significant amount more resources than we do here.
As far as you said, you mentioned you had some extra scholarships open. What are some of the guys coming in and coming out for you guys? Because you were only supposed to have a couple.
Well, let's see here.
Can you tell me?
I'm really not sure. I just know this. I know we've got. I know we have one left at this point, but there might be more changes coming.